This man organised the first gay pride rally in the UK. Meet Ted Brown. Moving to the UK in 1959, at the age of 9, his family were homeless for a few weeks due to being rejected for housing, the reason being they were black. At 12, his family moved to Deptford, but the area was then run by the National Front. Continuous assault of dog Dookie through their letterbox and violence against their home later, they then moved to Greenwich. If this turbulence wasn't enough for Ted, he then realised he was gay not soon after moving. And a few years later, his best friend, who he'd had suspicions was also gay, took his own life. And then a few more years later, he and his siblings witnessed their mum pass from a heart attack. The compounded anti-blackness and homophobia would grate at Ted until he found his spark. In the 70s, he went to see a film in Leicester Square. On his way out, he was handed a leaflet for a newly formed group, the GLF, the Gay Liberation Front. The importance of the GLF was reflected in how quickly it grew, quickly spreading over the country. Ted spent some time living together in a commune with other members of the GLF, and he also joined Gallop. However, these years brought Ted face to face with a tough reality, that these groups were predominantly white, and many of these white gays would do nothing to reckon with their own anti-blackness. After an altercation with a white gay who used the slur, he left Gallop. He continued on with the GLF, however, and in 1972, he helped organise the first UK Gay Pride rally, which had a march of over 2,000 people. Ted took it a step further, protesting the current law that criminalised being openly gay by organising a mass kiss-in. He was not going to abide by the rules that had us live in the shadows. Over the next couple of decades, Ted continued his work with various organisations. He started the Black Lesbians and Gays Against Media Homophobia, challenge homophobic representations of queer people in media, starting a dialogue with The Voice magazine, among many others. This was not risk-free, however. One incident of calling out homophobia in dancehall against artist Buju Banton resulted in the artist's fans beating the shit out of Ted in his own home. Listen to the lyrics though. In more recent years, Ted's work still continues as sadly, the political climate is still a mess. In 2021, his partner Noel was abused in the nursing home he was staying at, left with bruises all over his body and cigarette burns on his hand. When reported, the punishment for the staff was pathetic. 2 weeks suspension and then they were just transferred to another floor. Ted has shifted some of his focus for advocating for trans people now, stating that the treatment of them now is exactly the same as how gay people were treated when he was younger. Ted has still got a lot of fight in him and will use his voice to protect black queer people till his last breath.